Hey, Bugaboo. Is it too hot on top of the trailer for you? Oh, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
What are you doing?
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, that was a cute one.
Bugaboo, do you like when Dad pets you? Weatherman said it's only supposed to be in the high 80s, but it's already 95.
Yeah, Bugfish the weatherman was wrong.
It's almost 100 in the cabin, not quite. Jesse is enjoying our new shade and mist garden.
That's such a marketing term.
Do I have permission to join you?
Yeah.
Or is this illegal because it's not work?
Do you know what illegal is?
Anything you get caught doing, it's against the law?
False.
What?
A little bit of Terry wisdom for you. Are you ready for this? Illegal is a sick bird.
We're actually in between tasks today, and we've had something that's been on our mind for a while that we haven't really talked about, and that is the #1 threat to us getting our house dried in this winter. It's not money, time, energy, it's heat. In a lot of our recent videos, we've been talking about how hot it is, and on those videos, we thought hot was about 80 degrees. Well, today it's almost 100, and we have hit 105 degrees on this property in Idaho.
This is ridiculous.
That's one of the reasons we moved here, was that it was at a northern latitude and we hate heat, and here we are. We feel like we're in Arizona. Some of you have commented that on our recent videos, we look borderline miserable, and we complain a lot. And we edit a lot of our complaining out. However, it is real. Like, we don't feel like we're being little whiny babies. It's really hot, and we have two choices. We cannot work, or we have to work through it. And guess what? That's what we choose to do, and it is really challenging. This is a video in hopes of helping out somebody who has a similar situation as us.
And maybe we should inform those folks who may be thinking about developing a bare property. It is difficult. You do not have very much protection from the elements through the point where you have a roof on your house. I think it's really easy to look at a finished property that's landscaped and think, oh, that doesn't look that bad. I think we dedicate this video to all you folks out there who get houses dried in, who know what we're talking about.
First, this wasn't something we thought of until this year. We actually have a shade canopy. This is one Jesse's had for a while. So what's funny is we don't actually spend a lot of time sitting here, but just having somewhere protected from the sun is huge. If you can just go sit down like this guy for like 5 minutes and drink something cold, it ironically like really brings up your spirits.
We actually thought about doing this last year, and the reason we didn't do it is because of wind. Everybody who's ever had an easy up type shade canopy or whatever knows what wind does to them. And as you can tell from just shooting this video, it's gusty, it's calm right now, and here in a second this thing is gonna lift up and move a foot, and it's just a nightmare to keep track of. We have a big shade tent like you'd put at like a wedding, and we put it up for the Woodmiser workshop. We attached it to 8 buckets full of sand, and we came home from being in town and it had been lifted with all the buckets attached and thrown into the highway. So shade tents are good, and we're glad we have ours, but it has to be quickly collapsible so that if it gets too breezy, we can take it down.
Something else we've learned is keep it near your work site. For our Woodmiser workshop, we put it near our cabin, except we realized that no one was using it because a sawmill was all the way on the other side of our property. So our poor workshop attendees were actually sitting on the hillside because there was a sliver of shade. Roman, who attended our Woodmiser workshop, suggested that we turn this into a mist tent, and it's working okay. We're having a little problem with pressure on our water system right now that we haven't had time to work the kinks out. So it's a little bit more of a soaker system, but just being able to come over here and get a little cold water on your face is huge. Generally, we try to avoid working in the direct sun of this giant sun bowl. Jesse is the mastermind when it comes to the ultimate planning and success of this home build. He's really good about trying to avoid working in the sun.
Let's tell him the truth. I'm a grumpy old man, and I'm pretty darn grouchy when I don't get to start working until 11 o'clock. I try to get up early, which I don't love doing, but I know I need to because it's right, you know, about 5 o'clock you can start to get daylight enough to work. And this whole part of the property right here is shaded until about 8:30. That's 3.5 hours
Of work.
of shade.
So what Jesse's trying to say is get to understand your shade schedule on your property. Take time to watch it and see what part of your property is shaded when, and try to plan your work around that. Yeah? What you working on?
Trying to protect our water wrench. We just got or our water key. We just got these yesterday.
Sweet.
And they're made from steel, and of course they're gonna corrode, so need to get some paint on them so we don't get corrosion building up. You know what else is cool?
Huh.
Paint matches my shirt.
I was totally gonna say that. I think that brings us to our next point of how important we feel clothing is to working in this kind of weather.
I wouldn't say it's everything, but I would say it's darn near everything. I mean, if you're wearing the wrong clothes, you're miserable. It doesn't mean your clothes make it like
Cool.
30 degrees cooler or anything like that.
Yeah.
I will say this, we have worked in the sun for roughly 60 straight days so far this year with no breaks, and I don't have a sunburn. Do you?
Nope.
And do you wear sunscreen?
Nope.
Right. Clothing works. And does it make you cool? Nah, I wouldn't say that's true, but it keeps the sun off of you, and I think that's the important part there.
Jesse gets 2 comments consistently about his clothing. 1, where'd you get that hat? I've looked everywhere for that hat and I can't find one. And 2, that must be Jesse's favorite shirt. That's all he wears. Jesse, what's your favorite color? Pink? Orange? Is that salmon? Like everyone comments how you wear the same shirt again and again and again and again.
I wear it to bed.
I'd say Jesse and I do wear the same clothing again and again. Yes, we wash them somewhere in there. When you find something that works, stick with it. I think clothing for us has just been one heck of a journey. We started out going to Goodwill, trying to find things there, and last summer we spent all summer in overweight flannels.
First of all, clothing is something that we destroy. So when you find something that's not only comfortable but durable, that speaks a lot, because you can buy a polo type shirt just about anywhere. But if you look closely, this thing's got cut marks on it. I mean, I've done bad things to this shirt and it keeps coming back for more. So why do I wear it? Because it does the job I need it to do. And that's a huge thing that we've had to go through as transitioning our thinking about clothing. At first, granted, budget's always tight, but we were kind of opposed. I don't even know how much this shirt was, but let's just say it wasn't Goodwill. But when it works, you have to be willing to invest in your clothing.
Dude, where'd the sun go? Oh my God, Cloud, I love
Dude,
you.
there's a cloud.
I love you. Oh, the lamb sacrifice worked.
Kind of sad
kidding.
right now for just a little bit of a reason. You know why?
Why?
We're not getting any solar at the moment.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's fine for 5 minutes.
It's no secret that all winter Jesse and I were dressed pretty much head to toe in Carhartt, and that stuff was working really well for us, but we've since been introduced to a brand called Duluth Trading. And we saw that they had a really great line of sun clothing. Even though we each only have 1, maybe or 2 outfits, they've been working really well for us. This is a UPF 50 sun shirt, which is awesome because, as Jesse said, I don't like sunscreen. And this one's really awesome. It does have a lot of vents in all the right places. So as far as a sun shirt goes, it's probably as good as it gets. For a base layer, I've been enjoying this shirt a lot. It's wicking. It's super lightweight.
Yeah, it's a synthetic, right?
I've been wearing this shirt nonstop. I probably wear it for 2 or 3 days in a row. I know it's kind of gross.
She has laundered that shirt in the sink.
In the sink,
like
again and again.
3 times.
But the good news is that it dries ridiculously fast.
Yeah. I mean, again, look at the durability. So we work. She doesn't wear this in the cubicle. She's wearing this out digging in the trenches, pulling weeds, gardening, running the backhoe. Same thing with that shirt. We've been pouring concrete in that shirt, and it's been surviving it. Throw it in the laundry. Looks pretty good.
And the nice thing about this, and I feel like this is something Duluth does really well at, is these clothing, or for women, it's very feminine. So, and in the back, it's kind of, I don't know, gusseted. So you can see why I wear this nonstop. These pants, I feel like I've always had really bad luck with these sort of like hiking pants. I always feel like they're just a tent for my body. They don't fit really well. I was very hesitant to order these, but these so far have held up the test of time. We've been plumbing in them, crawling around in ditches. These dry extremely fast. They're wicking, they're ridiculously comfortable. So pretty much my summer outfit.
What actually attracted us to Duluth was the fact that they had a women's line. In all honesty, it's pretty easy to find workwear for me. It's pretty much at every department store. I mean, we pretty much just go into a store, they've got some sort of men's clothing. Now, that's not to say that I like the men's clothing that they have, but when it comes to Alyssa, empty-handed. We have struggled. We've even gone into stores that are labeled as workwear stores for men and women,
And what'd you find?
Well, there's like one or
Seriously?
two pairs of pants.
And the legs on them are like elephant style. They don't fit, they're not flattering.
Yeah.
Not everybody cares about what they look like when they're working. But well, Alyssa needs to be comfortable. I think it's really important. I mean, every guy has their thing. They want to feel a certain way when they're working. Durable is important to us, and you know, color, as long as it's not too feminine, we don't really care that much. But for Alyssa, finding workwear for her has been awesome. She loves it. She throws it on, no problem. She's out here working.
And I think for us having the right clothing, it helps us work harder, longer, because your clothing aren't holding you back. And that's especially true in the heat. We mentioned Jesse's hat. We didn't mention Alyssa's hat. We bought these last year. I think the brand is Outdoor Research. Is that right? And this is a hat that in my former life I would never wear because I feel like it's just hideous looking. I don't know, but I'm so over the point of caring, you know? But this does shade most of my face. We get made fun of for wearing them. We really do.
And they're durable. We get a lot of miles out of these hats. They're not just for looks. So when we pick a hat and we wear it often, that's a compliment because that means that hat's comfortable, it's doing its job, and we like it.
Very true. I think last point about clothing, don't wear dark colors. Don't wear black. It really, really matters. I've had days where I start working in a black shirt or black pants. You just be amazed at the difference in a light fabric. So for sun clothing, khaki is a great color.
Take a lesson from the people who live in the desert. They wear white and khaki. They're great colors.
How's the wrench? Is the wrench done?
The wrench is poorly done, but it is done. It looks like it's protected from the elements.
Okay. Next, we want to talk about some things that people told us we should buy, and we were kind of hesitant because they sounded a little gimmicky, but here we go. The other day we picked up, I don't even know what these are called.
They're like a bandana.
Bandana with like jelly stuff in them. You could put them in the freezer, tie them around your head, put them around your neck.
You soak them in water and the beads inside absorb water, and then you freeze it and it turns into like an icicle that you can tie.
Yeah, they are cold, so I would say they don't significantly lower your body temperature, but it is nice to just feel a little bit of coolness. It just reminds you that it's possible in some distant world, and you just have a little piece of it right here. These things were in the impulse buy section next to the candy as well, so we thought we'd pick them up just to rule it out. Honestly, I had very little to no faith that these things would work. It's called a chill pad, and the idea is that you get it wet and it cools itself via evaporation, and it really does stay cool to the touch for hours. So the other day we were pulling a bunch of weeds and we just draped these around our neck, and you do feel it cooling you down as the wind blows over it. And this especially, I feel like you can just stop and put it up next to your cheek, and it is so nice.
I think this whole concept really is no different than just wetting your t-shirt. So if you have just a spare t-shirt, dunk it in water and you're good.
We'll
I will
try that
say,
too.
but I will say that this fabric is definitely different.
It's very different than a t-shirt.
Yeah, it evaporates much quicker, so the cooling effect is definitely more pronounced. And I like this. I actually tied it around my neck, kind of like a scarf.
Oh yeah.
And then drape it over your head. I don't know.
You can
Feels
just
good.
it does cool. I'd say of these two, I actually like this one more. Do you agree?
Yep, and this is a commercial product, so if you want to buy a product, this is made by
we'll link to
Frog Togs Chili Pad.
Someone in the comments said we should check this out. Beat you to it.
We found them locally. I think they were probably $6 or something, really
it's pretty affordable, yeah.
So it's probably cheaper than a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Something we've learned about staying hydrated is that you cannot hydrate enough during the day, and you end up with cramps, headaches, grumpiness. Anyway, so staying hydrated is super important. If we know that we're going to be working in the sun, we will hydrate 3 days in advance. We just drink gallons of water. And on a really, really hot day, we might consume 2 gallons of water. And it's amazing how that just turns into sweat. So that's just a tip if you want to stay a little bit stronger and have some better stamina day after day after day. Hydrate in advance.
If you look up here, Jesse and I just got an air conditioner. It's that thing right there. We keep, this is really nerdy. We use a project manager to just schedule our life. No, we're not in corporate world. Yes, we do this for fun, but we have 2 lists. One are heat of day tasks, and one is, I guess, evening or cool weather tasks. So if we're in doubt about what to work on, we look at our list and we pick appropriate tasks. So now that we have the air conditioner set up, it is an option to come inside during the heat of the day and work on other things. That kind of goes back to like, don't work in the heat if you don't have to.
We're not purists, and even though we live off grid, I think it's worth saying that there's no trophy for scorching yourself. There's no trophy for being the roughest, toughest, you know, person out there. We upgraded to an air conditioner because it's productivity for us. Without that, you're out working in the heat and you know that you got to come inside into the heat, and it's just kind of like demotivating. So an air conditioner, it's a good investment if it's something that you can swing. It'll help boost your productivity during the middle of the day.
So I just washed my hat. It shrunk in the wash like crazy, and now I have this like ridiculously attractive line across my forehead. Jesse washed his hat too, and his hat wasn't so fortunate. What do you guys think? We came up with the Quaker oatmeal guy, George Washington. Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. I'm thinking if we put some clamps on it and stretch it out, kind of like you do a sheepskin, maybe it will go back to being a shade hat. Something I learned working on construction job sites is that if you take beverages, put these about half full of water, for example, and freeze them the night before, those drinks will stay cold for several hours.
And last but not least, if all else fails,
Full blast.
really?
Yep. Do it more.
Can you handle it?
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't mean to point it at your face.
Here you go. Go more. Wow, it's so much water.
Wow, look at that. Okay, I'll run through it real quick. No more. That's really wet.
I bet I could knock your hat off from here.
I bet you could, but I'm gonna hide behind the camera because you won't point it at the camera.
Look at that blouse.
Wow.
Make it rain. Make it rain.
Pretty good. Yeehaw.